All right, I want to continue on with motion maps. In this case, I want to make a motion map from words. We talked about the 4 ways to represent motion. We've got words, we've got position time graphs, we've got velocity time graphs, and we've got motion maps. It's going to become necessary to be able to translate between those 4 ways of recognizing motion. So what I want to do here is I want to convert words, a statement, into a motion map. So what we'll do is, I think the first thing I'm going to do is, since the position time graph and the motion map are so closely related, I'm going to go ahead and create a position time graph for this set of words here. This motion describing, these words describing motion, and then I will take that and convert that into a motion map. So what I've got is, my first motion is fast, steady, away. 0 here, fast, steady, away. It doesn't say where I'm going to start from. It just says that I'm moving away. I could start from 0. I could start above 0. The easiest thing is probably to start from 0. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's fast, steady, away. So what I'm going to do is get something with a fairly steep slope and away. Then standing still, that's going to be a horizontal line. And then I'm still moving away, but at a slow, steady speed. So that's going to be less steep than this. So maybe off like this. So here's my position time graph. Make that end a little better. There we go. There's my position time graph. And again, I've got 3 motions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify, the spots where those motions change. And make a few notes on this thing to help me make my position time graph. Down below here, I think I'm going to go ahead and write in my motions. This is fast, steady, away. And then down here is standing still. And then this last part of the graph is slow, steady, away. So that should help me later on down the road here. I know this is starting at 0, so that's not a problem. Let me go ahead and set up my number line for my motion map. And before I go any further, the other thing I want to do is I want to make some notes on how my position dots are going to look. I know this is steady, so these are going to be evenly spaced. This is standing still, so my dots are going to be stacked. And then for slow, steady away, these are also going to be even since it's steady. These are going to be a little closer. So I'm going to say close and even. And since this was fast, I'm going to say wide and even. Just a brief description of what my dots are going to look like on my position time graph, or excuse me, my motion map. So let me go ahead and put all my tick marks on here. There we go. We're starting at 0, so that makes life easy. I can go ahead and put my position here as 0, and I'm going to mark that as time 0. It's always nice to know where you start. At this point now I can go ahead and plotting my motion map. Now I know these are going to be wide and these are going to be close, so I'll start off with wide spacing. So I've got wide spacing, and now I can tell that I'm moving away at a fast, steady speed. So at this point I can probably stand still, and I'll start stacking these. At this point I can tell that I'm standing still, and then I'm going to move away at a slow, steady speed. So this was spaced double, so I'm going to space this single, so it'll be less. And again, I throw a couple in here. And at this point I can tell that I'm moving a slow, steady pace away, so I can probably cut this off. The last thing I need to do is put in my velocity vectors. These are going to be longer, but the same size, because I'm at a constant velocity. Again, at this point, I don't need a velocity vector on this because I'm at the same position. There is no velocity get from here to here. It's not moving. No velocity. Same here. Same here. But to get from here to here, I have to be moving. There must be some sort of velocity. I can't help but draw it shorter than these because my spacing is narrower, and which is why I kind of wrote down close spacing for myself, so I'd remember that these guys are going to be less widely spaced than the others. And when I get to the end, what I'm going to do is, just since I don't know the motion, I'm going to assume that it continues to move on with the same motion. So I'll give it the last velocity vector. Now I could go ahead and fill in the times. This would be at 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, or time units, 5 time units. This would be 6 time units, 7 time units, 8 time units, 9 time units or seconds, and then 10 time units. Not necessary all the time, but again, the one thing you probably want to do is make sure that you identify your time 0, so that if it is necessary, you know where to start from.